Hi, I'm Trevor from OpticsPlanet. If you're looking for a spotting scope and you're not quite sure which one to choose, here's some helpful hints that can help you in your decision. As you can see, there's a lot of different spotting scopes on the market, different sizes, different numbers go along with those. Starting with what you're going to be using the spotting scope for. Are you going to be birding, hunting, target shooting, general sightseeing? There's a lot of different categories that are all going to use different spotting scopes, and they usually require different criteria for each of those applications. We're going to start with a hunting spotting scope. If you're looking for a hunting spotting scope, you're going to want to narrow your criteria to a couple certain things. One of the things that I look for in a hunting scope, you want it to be compact. If you're going to be hunting, chances are you're going to be lugging this along with you. Whether you're traveling in and out of a truck, you're going to want something more compact and lightweight. That's what I usually look for in a hunting spotting scope. Something like this scope right here, extremely compact. It can almost fit in a cargo pocket, easily fit in a pack. Now, magnification-wise, how much that spotting scope is going to zoom in, you usually don't need too much, and you're kind of limited to the fact that it is more of a compact spotting scope. So a 15 to 45 magnification is the most you'll usually need for most of your hunting applications. The objective lens can also be a little bit smaller. Once again, you're trying to keep that compact feel to it. So a 50mm objective lens is usually the most you need, and it's going to be perfect for a hunting application. Now, if you're on a guided hunt, you're going to be in and out of a truck often enough, size isn't as important, and neither is the weight. So you can use a larger spotting scope, even something this size, if it's going to be inside the truck. So that's something to look for as well. If you're looking for a spotting scope for target shooting, the options are pretty much endless. And there's a lot of different options out there, and you're not going to know where to start. What I like to start with in target shooting is looking at the numbers. And I mean the magnification specifically, and then the objective size. With target shooting, you're usually going to be stationary. Sometimes you're moving around a little bit, so weight isn't an issue. Chances are you're just going to be mounting it on a tripod, and you're going to want it close to your proximity so you can easily glance at it, look at the target, and then get back to your shooting. So when it comes to a target shooting spotting scope, I want more magnification. I like to err on the side of over magnification. If I'm shooting at 500 yards, 800 yards, 1,000, 1,200 yards, you can still effectively use a spotting scope depending on what your target is and your shooting situations. So what I look for in a target spotting scope, anything from 25 yards out to at least 600 yards, I want 20 to 60 magnification. That's my, perfect magnification range. Like when you go back to a rifle scope, 3 to 9 by 40 is the ideal classic range. With a target spotting scope, 20 to 60 magnification is perfect for you for most applications. I use it out to at least 600 yards, sometimes further. Objective size, bigger is better on this one. I want at least an 80mm. That's going to allow more light to enter the scope. So on a cloudy day, you still get enough light in there. And on a sunny day, you can usually extend a sunshade. That's on most spotting scopes to block some of that glare out. Now, if I'm an extreme long range shooter, if I'm going to be shooting 800, 900, 1,000 yards, and the really extreme ranges of 1,200, 1,500 yards plus, it really depends on what you're shooting. If you're shooting a steel plate, where you have a large impact mark on the plate, you can still use a 20 to 60. If you're not shooting a steel plate, if you're shooting paper, chances are you're going to need some video equipment in addition to the spotting scope. So that's really another criteria you need to jump into. Now, if you're, say, a pistol shooter, you're on target shoot for pistol, and you're a long-range pistol shooter. Some guys shoot pistol 50, 100, 150 yards. You don't need a 20 to 60 per se. You can go back and use something like a 15 to 45, like a smaller range spotter. Now, if you're going to get into birding, or you already are a birder, you probably know quality optics is the name of the game. And you really need to spend a little bit more money to get that crystal clear optics that you're going to really want for birding. So that's why I recommend look at a quality optic. If you've saved up a little bit of money, stretch it out, save up a little bit more, jump into that next level. It's really going to be worth it. So I really recommend going for a quality optic. Magnification-wise, it depends on the distances you're going to be birding. If you're using close range, say you're going to be in your backyard or a park, 20 to 60 yards, you'll be fine with a 15 to 45. They also make fixed eyepiece scopes that you can choose to have a fixed eyepiece, like this scope right here, as a variable, and a fixed eyepiece that you can switch out. That's ideal for a birding situation where if you have your favorite spot, you sit there and you look at a certain area and you want a certain magnification, you can go with the fixed, or you still have the variable option on a lot of different spotting scopes. If you're just a general sightseer, you're camping, kind of that last little bit of customers that's in there that's looking for a great spotting scope, a lot of different options out there for you. If you're camping per se, you're going to be limited with size and weight as well. So one of the things I always have on a camping trip is just a pocket magnifier. Still considered a spotter, but it's small, lightweight, 6x, 8x, 10x. Some are variable. They can go from 8x to 25x, but a pocket magnifier is an ideal choice for being able to get that extra magnification, look at with the target in a distance, and still be incredibly lightweight and small. Going along with a small size, a 10 to 30 or 15 to 45, these spotting scopes are ideal for a camping situation where you want to throw them in a backpack. Now this comes with a tripod on this specific model, but just a scope by itself, extremely lightweight and small, but still a quality image. It's going to be everything you need for camping. Now some of the terminology with a spotting scope in general, mentioned before, we have a straight body spotting scope here. This is an example of a angled body spotting scope. Now people really like straight body spotting scopes, especially for digiscoping. Work really well for that because they're balancing the camera weight. I really like the angled body spotting scope because it's easier to have it set at a certain height. Myself being 6'4", I can look down, and someone else that's say 5'5" can easily come up and look down because it's set at a lower height. Eyepiece is angled up, so it's very easy for people of different heights to look through the spotting scope. One of the nice features of angled spotting scopes that most of them do have a collar that can rotate. So if I'm in a seated position, especially when target shooting with angled body, I can rotate the eyepiece to me. So instead of having to get up, come over and look down on a spotting scope, I simply turn my eye and then can come back to the rifle. Now, one of the biggest crimes in spotting scopes are tripods. A wobbly tripod will ruin whatever you're looking through. There's a lot of different tripods out there, everything from a tabletop tripod that's great on a shooting bench to a freestanding tripod that's variable from anywhere from 2.5 feet up to 7 feet in height, depending on the model. But invest in a decent tripod. Almost all spotting scopes today, all the spotting scopes that we carry have a 1/4 by 20 thread plate on them, and that means that plate that connects to the tripod, these plates come with the tripod, will screw into the bottom of all these spotting scopes. They all have a screw in there, and that's a 1/4 by 20 threading. And that'll fit on almost all tripods that have that standard plate. All right, guys, hopefully you learned something. Hopefully this can direct you to a spotting scope that's gonna meet your needs and fit your criteria. If you have any questions on how to choose a spotting scope, how to use it, feel free to leave a comment on this page. Definitely give us a call, send an email. You can direct that at Tech Sales. We're gonna find you a spotting scope that's gonna fit your needs. I'm Trevor from OpticsPlanet. Thanks for watching, guys.